Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hello, assalamu alaikum, good morning, khushamdi, ji ayanu, goeiemorgen.
Pakhairagale, ni hao, churashumme, washwale, ohai genzaimes, guten morgen, hola, bonjour, privyet, kaifa hal, halashumachatore, ahlan wasalan, marhaba, buna, mucho, gracias, and a very happy, amazing Independence Day! To everybody who's out there, ladies and gentlemen, and to everybody who might not be watching their television sets right now, but as a matter of fact, ladies and gentlemen, Pakistan is more than 7 decades older today. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that it's a day for every Pakistani to be proud out there.
Absolutely.
Shiza, how do you feel?
I feel absolutely patriotic, first of all, of course, because Shahzad, you know, especially in the capital, Islamabad, the night before the 14th of August, it's, you know, so chaotic in a good way, though. I mean, there are a lot of people outside on the roads, in the parks to celebrate in public spaces, you know, and everywhere you go, of course, you're going to see Pakistani flags on the balconies, you know, in the streets, on cars even. And I love when kids put flags on their bicycles. It's so cute. So actually, everyone belonging to any part of Pakistan is observing independence in their own capacity. And I love to see that.
Exactly, and that's great. And Shiza, you know, the best part is that last night while I was out on streets as well, you know, I took my family out to watch all those lighting, you know, because Blue Area was late and it looked beautiful as well. So it wasn't just the bicycles with the flags, it was even with motorbikes as well. And there were people standing at the back of the cars holding those flags as well. And it's very right, and I think that it's everybody's right to kind of enjoy their independence, ladies and gentlemen. But then at the same time, just one simple request, and that is that for all of those flags and buntings that you've actually put onto your cars or your homes, please make sure that they do not fall down. I think that this is the kind of respect one should always have for their own flag as well.
Right,
but
absolutely.
Today, it's going to be about Pakistan, ladies and gentlemen, and I don't know when was the last time that Independence Day and Eid was kind of together too as well. So we've got some amazing guests over here in the studios.
But before we do introduce them, Shahzad, actually I do have a question for you. We love being, you know, Pakistanis. We love being a part of Pakistan, no matter wherever we go in the world. Pakistan is home, right? You're always coming back here. Your heart pulls you back. What is this one thing you can pick and choose actually, about Pakistan you absolutely admire and love?
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, if I have to be very honest, I think that Pakistan is actually home to each and everything God has to share, almost within the capacity of nature, you know. So if we talk about forests, if we talk about rivers, if we talk about seas, if we talk about Pakistan being home to highest peaks too as well, and then the highest cold desert, and not just the highest cold desert, and I think we have got some beautiful sceneries of desert in Balochistan too as well, talking about Gwadar, talking about CPEC, talking about Karakoram Highway, the infrastructure. I think that Pakistan is a developing nation, and for everybody who's out there, I want everybody to know this for sure, that we shouldn't actually be calling our home. I mean, nobody will actually call him or herself underdeveloped, you know. Nobody's going to like it too as well. I think that the right notion to put is that we are a developing country, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, and we are on the global map too as well. And imagine, Pakistan is even home to world's largest gym. So what I love about Pakistan, ladies and gentlemen, I haven't mentioned right now. I think that people who reside within Pakistan, people who have Pakistan within their own hearts, those are the people I love the most, and that's what I love most about Pakistan.
That's beautiful, Shahzad. And you know, you mentioned the world's biggest gym, also the world's highest ATM, I mean the world's highest polo ground, so many things to be proud of. And one very important thing I need to mention when we're looking at the habitat that Pakistan possesses, there are some times when I'm taken aback by the beauty of nature. There's this one specific thing that comes to my mind, the Sakkar Rohri Bridge. So it does look a little sad and gloomy because of the weather conditions. I don't know, you relate Sakkar to sort of, you know, something hot. But the bridge itself, it's very monumental to look at, and also the blind dolphins that run under the bridge. It's like, I mean, Pakistan is stunning. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I want to further this notion of independence and freedom with our guest over here.
Exactly, ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, we'll definitely be introducing our guests, and they, I know, are anxiously waiting to speak about independence and how we should actually move forward. But there are a couple of questions which I personally want to ask them, and those questions are, first of all, do they actually think that their forefathers gave them Pakistan in the best of shape? And what have they done within their own capacity to make Pakistan a better place for everybody else out there? This is first thing which we would like to ask. And then other than that, for the future generations, do you think that we ourselves, for our kids, are going to leave Pakistan as a better place for them to live or not. And I think that this is the answer. I mean, whatever answers we're going to get will actually let us know whether how much we are in love with Pakistan and how much Pakistan has progressed over these 7 decades as well. So on my right hand side, ladies and gentlemen, we have been joined by a gentleman who's an author to 3 books, and he's actually served quite a longer period of time in security companies as well, and that too on the top post. And now was the time that he actually thought that he's going to change the career, with the course of his own career as well. So he came up with his own company with the name of Tangent. He's the managing director of that company. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, he was a CEO at 32 or 34, I guess. Ladies and gentlemen, he's none other than Mr. Faheem Sardar. Hello, assalamu alaikum. How are you?
How are you, Shahzad?
Absolutely perfect. Happy Independence Day and Eid Mubarak.
And Eid Mubarak, of course.
Happy Independence Day to you and to all our viewers, and happy Eid Mubarak as well.
Thank you very much for joining us. Wonderful to have you alongside Faheem Sardar Saab. Ladies and gentlemen, we have been joined by somebody who's a regular on the show, and he's known in quite a lot of other capacities. He wears a lot of hats too as well, but he's got quite a lot of good grip to let us know about what Pakistan is all about,
He's very insightful.
What independence is all about, what freedom is all about, what sovereignty is all about. He's none other than Mr. Major Ehsan, and he's an analyst himself. Hello, sir. Assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Walaikum assalam. Eid Mubarak.
Khair Mubarak. Thank you very much for joining us. And 14 August bhi Mubarak ho aapko.
Thank you very much for calling.
Thank you very much. So first things first, do you think that your forefathers gave you Pakistan when they moved on in their lives, when they passed away? Do you think that Pakistan, the country you were living in, was in the best of shape?
I think they did the best they could, and Pakistan's creation, you were saying what you like about Pakistan. You didn't ask me that question, but I'd like to volunteer and answer.
All right.
Pakistan is an idea.
Yep.
There are very few countries, or hardly any countries on earth, which are an idea. Okay. So when you have an idea, you have to understand what that idea is. It's not just something for fun, or it's not just something for for passing time. Pakistan is a unique country.
Of course.
And if it is unique, it's going to face unique problems, and it will have unique opportunities. Now, just because, we have to accept the reality that we were created for Islam and for minorities as well. So if we try to understand how Pakistan was created at a time when there was no concept of a Muslim country. We have to understand that we have to go back in time. We have to go back at least 1 century, when the British Raj was, when the sun never set on the British Empire. Now it's constantly raining in England. So we have to understand in that darkness, in that difficult time where a concept came up, which is Pakistan, and an alphabet which does not exist in the Quran, Pe. So we have to understand what this country is, and to imagine something happening overnight, a very developed country, a very this, a very that. Pakistan has been unique in many fronts, and let me just share a few examples with you. Conceptually unique, terrain unique, one of the highest genetic mixes on earth, one of the fastest industrialization rates, which we stopped ourselves, which is inexplicable. So what our forefathers, I believe they did the best they could. And when you have something unique, you will face, I repeat, unique problems. You will have unique opportunities. So you have to live up to it.
Exactly.
I have to live up to it.
Right.
So I have to understand that what the whole concept was. This is not some simple, oh yeah, this happened and now we're here. No, no, no. Because let's remember one thing. Pakistan, it was a revolution. India, India is a colonial name, which they have still retained. So please keep that in mind. Pakistan was the revolution, not India. So we're part of a revolution which we have to perpetuate. We have to keep going. We cannot allow this to die down, and we have to bring a new revolution I would say every year within ourselves.
Exactly. That's wonderfully said. And then at the same time, ladies and gentlemen, I think I've got a message for all of those people who reside within Indian occupied Kashmir as well. I know that it is very helpful, and it's not really very heartwarming to see what's actually going on. But then at the same time, while we celebrate our independence, we definitely pray for yours too as well. And I think that whatever is in capacity of Pakistan will actually make sure that we put everything to test and give you your sovereignty and your independence back as well. But Mayor Saab, what about you? Do you think that your forefathers have actually done something good to Pakistan?
Well, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Thank you very much for asking such an important question.
Thank you.
At the same time, first, I think the nation needs to really understand that, yes, 14th August and celebration of Eid third day is together, merged together. So that makes a day, very unique day in itself. We need to also be a little careful while we say that what we have done, what we are giving to the nation coming, the breed coming up, and what we have annexed from the our forefathers.
Exactly.
I think they have done commendable work.
Yeah.
And I would give all credit to them. We have also tried to contribute to take their legacy, whatever it is. But then I think what they have done, we have not been able to do that much. Because of the reason that just imagine that while this movement entire was going on for the freedom, what was the situation? What was the environment, the charged environment? I remember my father, who has been late Second World War veteran also, who died before his death, he used to say, because he was the one who has been participating very actively during this all independence movement and all that. He would say that we used to say, "Seene pe goli khayenge, Pakistan banayenge." You know, so that kind of slogan in itself is such a charging words, which really brings your emotions out. And it gives you everything that we are not going to compromise anything less than having our own independent homeland.
That's so true.
So Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah is the person, and then Liaquat Ali Khan and Allama Iqbal, all these people, they got together and they really said that, yes, if that is your desire and if that is your wish, we are going to plan for something, we are going to get you that.
Right.
Remember, Pakistan came into being without having fought a conventional war. We never fought a conventional war to have it. You know, but then there's a lot of sacrifices which we gave, because what Shkiza was saying, Faheem is saying truly that it is a concept. Pakistan is basically a concept that, yes, we are unable to share with you certain things. That is the reason that we are independent, and today, and alhamdulillah, we are. Because the time has proved, over a period of time, it has been proved time and again that what the decision, was taken by our forefathers, by our leaders at that time, was absolutely correct. Just see the environment today. What is happening across LOCs, across the world, how the Muslims are being treated. And not only the Muslims, how this rift between Pakistan and our immediate neighbors, you know, how tense these situations are and how, where we are heading for. You know, so that tells that those people had much more vision, and they gave us that vision. Now our duty was to take that on and pass it on to our children and tell them that how important your country is for you, how important basically independence is for you. But then at the same time, Shahzad, what you said right in the beginning of the program, that independence would not only mean that you are trying to enter into some other space. You know, that is also very important. We need to understand that we got Pakistan, but then there are certain rules, there are certain laws, and we need to be law-abiding and citizens of this country. Only then, if we want to compare ourselves with the outside world, we see them and we try to say, oh, look, the British, they are very, organized people. They have got a lot of laws. Nobody is, honking horn there. If you do it, it's like taking, oh, why this man has
like
the horn on me.
Somebody.
It's like abusing someone. But here, we just do it generally. We don't do it with a purpose, but if you are standing on a red light, it's out of the course question. I'm just trying to lighten the whole thing.
Thank you so much for saying that. We will definitely come to that.
They try to, either blink lights on you, or and they try to, bring you to that level where you say, oi, what the hell are you doing? I'm standing in my own lane. Why are you trying to bother me for this much? So these kind of very small things but at the same time, once they accumulate, then they become very big issues.
No,
while
right,
driving on the roads, while you know, entering into another space, you throw trash outside and then you say the cities are littered with the trash.
Sir,
no, who is you know, responsible?
Absolutely, you're right. We will definitely come to that when we are talking about, you know, how we can be, you know, effective citizens by giving back to Pakistan. But ladies and gentlemen, he was very right when he said that it has been a very long struggle. I mean, it did not come overnight, right? So today is the day when we together commemorate the success of the very long struggle of independence, ladies and gentlemen.
And adding on to that, Shiza, there's one more beautiful aspect to Pakistan which I would love to share, and that is that Pakistan, ladies and gentlemen, as we all know, that it's Islamic Republic of Pakistan. So it was the first ever Islamic country, first of all, to be a nuclear power on the global map. And then after that, I think we were the first actually Islamic country to have a female Prime Minister over here as well. Imagine where the war was while we were actually being led by a female Prime Minister as well. So I think that all of these things are something which are very close to our heart and our achievements, and we want this to move on to our, or to be passed on to our future generations as well. But right now we've got a song to sing for Pakistan. Let's go ahead, let's take a listen. Eid Mubarak and Happy Independence Day.
Pakistan Zindabad.
Yes. हमें प्यार है पाकिस्तान से दिल जान से. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe and I know for sure that this is the voice of every heart of every Pakistani as well. And right now, ladies and gentlemen, we have been joined by another Pakistani on our show as well. Well, he's somebody whom whenever you will see him, you know, he's probably into writing or he's thinking about something else. He's actually thinking about future of Pakistan. Whenever I see him, he's busy reading or he's busy writing. Ladies and gentlemen, he's an ex-civil servant as well. He's a social analyst. He's none other than Mr. Abdul Jaleel. Hello, sir. Assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Thank you very much. Wa alaikum salam.
Sir, thank you very much for joining us. Happy Independence Day and Eid Mubarak.
And same to you, sir.
Thank you very much,
Thank
sir.
You,
sir so when we initiated the conversation, there was a question which I posed to our guests over here, and the question was whether our forefathers left Pakistan in a beautiful, or as a beautiful place, I mean, for everybody or the future generations as well. But my question is different now. So ever since I was growing up, whenever we used to study Pakistan studies or geography, you know, our teachers used to tell us that, you know, Pakistan is actually located on a very important location, and it's because of the neighbors we have, and it's because of the kind of trade route which actually falls in the way as well. But other than that, what I wanted to ask was, none of the teacher actually said that just because of this location, we have utilized it to the best of our capacity, and that we have actually brought changes within the subcontinent. Do you think that this has ever happened? Do you think that we are on that roadmap? Do you think that it's going to happen in near future?
Good question.
You know, this is a very good question as well, and this is a basic fact of Pakistan. It is strategically located in such a way, I mean, geographically placed in such a way that many civilizations, you know, crisscross through the geography of Pakistan.
Right.
On the one side there are Chinese, on the other side Indian civilization, then on the other side Iranian civilization, and if you go up north you will find Central Asia and Russia as well.
Exactly.
And Russia has got a very deep shadow over the policies of this region as well.
Right.
And then towards the Arabian Gulf, you have got the neighborhood of a rich Arab state, the Gulf states, which is the hub of which is the international hub of the economic activities, and the biggest energy center, where the biggest energy center of the world are located. So that is one reason. In fact, one of the Japanese author very recently have written an article, and it's you know, the main subject was self-descriptive. He said that Pakistan is a country which is suffering on account of its geographical location. And he used the word of a punishment on account of the strategic location.
Okay.
Right? And this was a fact. But unfortunately, we have come out of it. This was a big challenge. It carries both, you know, the promises as well as and certain threats as well.
Of course.
Unfortunately, promises we did not carry out. For example, one of my friends very recently said that the China is the upcoming economy in the world. It is, of course, a future superpower. Almost it have attained the status of a superpower. And we should have developed a close relationship, scientific, educational, etc., in all fields with them. But anyhow, still it is not too late. Now we should try, I think, as a nation as a whole, we should try to materialize the collaboration and the unity which has already been, you know, whose map have already been carved out under the CPEC's program as well. Right. This is very important.
Right. Thank you so much for saying that. But you know, when you were talking about progress and when you were talking about the strategic positioning and the natural resources that Pakistan possesses, it is of course something very amazing to look at. But to retain that, to, you know, take that further as a legacy and to always, you know, take maximum benefits from that, we definitely have to bring in unison the public and, you know, the government, of course, the state level, of course. Because it's not one person's job. The maintenance itself, the development itself, everyone has to be on board. Let's start with you, sir. How do you think we can bring everyone on board for the future progress of Pakistan?
Pakistan is...
You know, avoiding any internal conflicts.
Pakistan will... Okay, Pakistan is not an easy cake.
Yeah.
Pakistan, the destiny of Pakistan is not as simple as people think. You know, just a country that just develops and you have a high GDP and you have a high per capita spending, and you know, that's just an archaic discussion, which is, we want that to be relevant to Pakistan. It has to be relevant to Pakistan partially, but we have much more to do. Pakistan has to become an example for the rest of the world. Now, in order to do that, you have to do something which I'm actually describing in my 5th book, which is called The Empire Path. Okay. And every country that, I'll give you 2 examples. Sure. Yeah. Right now, just analyze very quickly, don't think about it, to which countries people basically want to immigrate to throughout the world. That's what we think. It's basically we're immigrating to an existing or previous colonial power. Okay. Why? Because it's basically organized. Basically, it's this, it's that, and we give up a lot of ideological differences. We're willing to then go for the economy. Exactly. So it is very important for us to walk the empire path. So I'm writing a book about this. Okay. And it is extremely important. And now, why am I saying this? Because in order to bring everything into unison, as to borrow the word that you used, to bring in unison, you have to have proper execution of your ideas. Pakistan has the ideas. Pakistan has the ability to plan. But when it comes to execution, that's where we see some faltering happening here or there.
Is that a structural loophole, let's say?
No, it's because there are too many forces at play. Okay. In order to understand Pakistan, when I was reading Machiavelli's The Prince, I'm not joking, when I read it for the first time, I thought I was reading something about Pakistan, although Machiavelli was describing 16th century Italy when the Medicis were coming to power. Okay. So there's so many counter movements happening here and there. You have the great game happening again and again and again. You have this insane, we have this insane neighbor called India that thinks, that's suffering from delusions of grandeur, and it is being encouraged by other countries to do this. So in all this, you can't have bubblegum discussions and processions and things like that. No, you have to have a very serious-minded society. You have to have a very serious-minded bureaucracy. You have to have a very serious-minded military. You have to have a very serious-minded court system, because I'll give you an example. Pakistan has started to expand. Pakistan has already started to do this. For example, do you know our NADRA system is being exported to 6 countries?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you know our passport system is being exported to 4 or 6 countries?
That's something I don't.
So that's phenomenal. I mean, this is what we're capable of. This is just one small example.
And we're working on 5G as well.
Exactly, exactly. So just to re-answer your question, in order to have unison in your country, you have to have systematic procedures. Now, Pakistan is, now here I would like to, we have to caution ourselves if we want Pakistan to improve. You have to understand Pakistan is asymmetric. Okay. That's why it does not fall into any paradigm. It is very difficult to analyze for outsiders. There are only 2 countries that understand Pakistan, one for the good of Pakistan, one for the worse of Pakistan. So one of them is China. So the fact is, we have to understand what this country is. It's not a bubblegum country. It's not a yuppie country. It's not some postcard country that you just visit and have a party, and you can do that as well. That's also happening in Pakistan. But the seriousness of this country, the purpose, because everybody talks about freedom. Oh, I want to be free. I want to be free. Guess which country is actually free? It's Pakistan. Pakistan represents freedom. We have to be serious about it.
Exactly, that's great. And ladies and gentlemen, moving on with conversation over here, you know, I think that we have a divide within the show, and it's because of the fact that I want to ask a question and Shiza wants to ask a question. So I think I will let Shiza speak first.
Oh, no, it's okay, you go ahead.
Okay, so if I'm supposed to ask this question, I think, okay, so everybody, I want you to please be as honest as you can be, and I think that that'll be great, because whenever it's my birthday, I kind of ask myself this question, whether I am on the right path or not, or whether I am moving towards success or not. So I think what I need to know from you is that, do you think that for the last 70 years, the kind of leadership you have had is actually the kind of leadership which will steer Pakistan into one of the most powerful economies in the world? And it's because of the fact that we share our borders with two such countries who were actually a part of G20 summit. I think that this is something which is enough to be shared about how we are on the economic spectrum as well. And then other than that, just a few days ago, since the time that, you know, all of these things were happening about Kashmir, the opposition leader actually had to say quite a lot of things, but he never said that, you know, whatever the government's going to decide, we are going to back them up.
Right.
But if we are going to have a divide of such sort in a country, I mean, I think even a crazy person would know that, you know, that they have conflicts within their own selves. And how do you think that we'll be able to steer our country towards that progress, which we actually see in our own heads only? Please, sir. Jalisa, we'll start with you.
Yes, sir. So, to begin with the first question, in fact, if you see the present generation of Pakistan is not fully satisfied with the performance of the previous generation. And there are obvious reasons for that. For example, prima facie we say that the corruption has taken over the country. That is one of the reasons. And why? The reason is that right from the very beginning, we have not complied with the instruction, or we have never tried to materialize what basically as ideology of Pakistan has been envisaged by Dr. Muhammad Iqbal and how it was carried out by Quaid-e-Azam. And now Quaid-e-Azam wanted to see Pakistan growing up. In which manner? Unfortunately, Quaid-e-Azam wanted to see a welfare Islamic state with basin of, you know, having the potential of developing a universal civilization, where the knowledge movement is sponsored, basically, where the ethics of the higher society is sponsored. As we all inherited, Islam is one of the biblical religion, and there is a very straightforward teaching in all these three religions, Christianity, Jews, etc., that if you will do good, Almighty God will in fact bless you. If you do not good, you will be punished. This is a simple belief. But in any case, what we have done that
yes, sir, please go on.
but in any case, we have ignored completely the process of our, you know, the process of the education, which should have been carried out right from the very beginning to build up a particular kind of a generation with high morality. Unfortunately, the educational system has been ignored completely by the government,
I agree with that,
by the various regimes.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. That is one of the reasons which brings a lot of disappointment to us. Number one reason. Number two reason is, in fact, I would say that unfortunately we were not so much blessed with the good political leadership from time to time. They too also bring a lot of disappointment to us. At times, you know, I will be very forthright and honest, I become disillusioned with this democratic system which has failed to give us a good leadership of high caliber. I mean, what kind of these leadership is there who carry fake degrees? If you visit National Assembly, you will find, just see the quality of the speeches which are delivered on the forum by some of the members as well, and you get disappointed. Number two. And number three, these, you know, Pakistan, another socio-economic structure. Pakistan is one of those countries which is very rich in resources, both in natural resources as well as in agricultural resources. Basically, it was an agriculture country. And we should have taken this country to its, you know, to its highest level of socio-economic development to achieve a model state in this region. It has. But unfortunately, it could not happen because of the disconnect between the aspiration of the people and the way it has been implemented by the political leadership. Political leadership did not have any vision, and certainly poor bureaucratic control as well. Inefficient and poor bureaucratic control, which has also contributed towards the deterioration of the socio-cultural condition of Pakistan. So all these together, but sum total of it is the education.
Right, of course.
We have not taken the process of nation building seriously.
Okay.
Oh,
We're
that's
always
right.
just jumping to other governments. Of course, I understand that. But I'm just going to change a little bit the questions Shahzad already posed. For you, sir, you know, when you're looking at a country like Pakistan, we've already mentioned all the things the perks that Pakistan enjoys, the privileges that Pakistan enjoys in terms of its positioning, whatnot. But we also have to see, you know, look at the pattern where there have always been foreign interventions in one way or another, right? Through probably, I don't know, partnering up with something, through foreign aids, or so many other things. But miraculously so, luckily so, Pakistan has been able to, you know, continue with its sovereignty for more than 70 years now. What do you think has been the key and should be the key for the future? Because Pakistan, of course, will be in the same position with so many international propagandists coming in.
I think it's only Allah. That's it.
Yeah, but as a nation, as a state, let's talk about it. There has to be certainly our strength, some point, right, where we should definitely hold on to.
Yeah, but before I really go on to that, let me just say that if we can divide the history of Pakistan or the life of these 72 years, like 1940 to 1960, then from 60s to 80s, and then from 80s till date.
Okay.
I think if we divide it in these three parts, then we will see that Pakistan has progressed the maximum from 1940 to 1960.
Okay, okay.
The leadership, post-independence leadership was no
Phenomenal.
doubts.
Yeah.
And then after that also we had the leadership of its own kind, which we still cherish that we don't have that. And then Pakistan progressed till 60s. Just see the immense progress which Pakistan make, and Pakistan was one of those countries where we cherish that Pakistan was the PIA, for example, you take it, was flying one of the best you know, airlines in the world, and so on and so forth, and so many other things. The relations of Pakistan, the kind of you know, the respect which Pakistan enjoyed and all that. Then from 60s to 80s, again, we have a very, very you know, difficult period, I would say, that we had. We should not forget about that we went into war also with our immediate neighbor, and then you know,
Just within these 2 decades, we went into war twice.
War twice and all that, and what were the results and all these things. And then now, today again, from that period till date, again we need to see that where we are going now.
Exactly.
The leadership keeps changing and all that. What we need to see is, has Pakistan overall been growing or not, and in which particular aspect Pakistan is growing. I think today Pakistan is growing economically and is trying and is on the right path now, where Pakistan is going to be the next economic power of the world.
Right.
Because of the reason that the geographical location not only makes Pakistan a unique country by itself, but opens up so many opportunities, economic opportunities also, where Pakistan becomes the hub of the economic activity, with China-Pakistan Economic Corridor coming in, and the rest of the regional interests which are emerging into Pakistan today makes our immediate neighbor also perplexed in that way. That is also one of the reasons that we are becoming a very sore thorn into their eyes, that how to control Pakistan, not to get onto that really, you know, path where Pakistan is going to surpass everyone for that matter.
Exactly.
China itself is, you know, the growth of China is not a hidden fact from anyone, is the power of the world, and the next economic power of the world. So I think Pakistan, one of the allies, the most important ally in that aspect, takes Pakistan and puts Pakistan into a very unique place for that matter. So I think Pakistan today, if you have asked me, I think Pakistan today is in a much better shape than previously, and Pakistan has got much better future. The only thing is, the people of Pakistan needs to be more patriotic, and they need to really love Pakistan. This country needs to be loved, and it will deliver you back. The leadership is only emerged from you.
Right.
So if you are good, your leaders have to be good.
Thank you very much for saying that, because ladies and gentlemen, I think that this is where I wanted to move on to as well, and it's because of the fact that I think that quite a lot of times people over here within Pakistan, people who are actually Pakistanis but reside outside Pakistan, have heard them complain quite a lot about their institutions, and you know, there are a lot of other issues which they think that, you know, there are a lot of institutions which intervene, they do not let the processes be complete and whatnot. I think that every individual really need to focus on themselves too as well, as Pakistanis, as in how much they are contributing to the country, how much they are contributing to the values and the norms too as well. Which is why we just have one simple public service message which we have picked up for you today, and it is about plastic. And in a lot of places within Pakistan are actually banning plastic to be used amongst shopkeepers and whatnot as well. We just have a small public service message video for you guys. Please go ahead, take a look, and when you guys will come back, we'll take the closing remarks as well. Let's do it.
Well, Heal the Planet, Say No to Plastic Bags, ladies and gentlemen. This was definitely a strong message early in the morning, especially on this important day.
Exactly.
And let me mention it again that in Islamabad, along with so many other cities, effective 14th August, that is today, plastic bags along with other plastic materials are being banned. So, ladies and gentlemen, please resort to other ways of carrying stuff because, of course, you don't want to pollute the environment for your generations to come. Exactly. I mean, also, Shahzad, when we're looking at tree plantation drives, at the pace that they're going on in every part of the country, it's so good to look at because when we're looking at probably our siblings or, you know, our children to grow up in the future, they are definitely in better climatic conditions, but also, I mean, in a beautiful country that they should be in.
And this is what matters to us, ladies and gentlemen. We want Pakistan to be on top of the list in terms of developed countries as well. But before we wrap up, you know, if there's anything you would want to say, if you would want to put your heart out, please go ahead. That's your camera.
Okay. We have to take Pakistan seriously, we have to take ourselves seriously, and we have to understand what this country stands for. Pakistan will exist till the end of time. We have to be a part of it. You have to be a part of it.
Amazing. Essence out, please.
Love your country, have faith on your country, and then also have unity, faith, and discipline, and make sure that you adopt to it.
Amazing, that, Jalisa.
I would like to say that whichever the government is there, and our policy maker, our elders, they must try to find out what are the aspiration and the dreams of the new generation. Exactly. They want to have the life of the self-fulfillment in new Pakistan. Exactly. Right. And self-fulfillment dream cannot be realized until and unless there is a sound educational base. Absolutely. With a culture of performing voluntary service for all those who need it. Amazing. So the love is basically.
Thank you so much for saying that. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for being here, especially on this day. Again, Jashn Azadi Mubarak, also Eid Mubarak, also to everyone watching out there. Ladies and gentlemen, when you're looking at some healthy ways to celebrate your Independence Day, I mean, as family, of course, there's so many things that you can do for recreation purposes, like go to probably, I don't know, monuments and also, you know, museums and whatnot, and share facts about Pakistan that, you know, hold quizzes among siblings or whatnot. I mean, there's so many healthy ways that you can observe your freedom in, and sit your kids down, sit your fellows down, and really think about and talk about the real price of freedom that your ancestors have paid. That is what our Kashmiri brethren are paying even right now.
Exactly. With that, ladies and gentlemen, please make sure that you write to us on our Facebook page, which is with the name of
Well This Morning.
On Twitter.
Well This Morning without a G.
On Daily Motion.
Well This Morning.
On YouTube.
Also Well This Morning.
On Instagram.
Well_this morning.
Ladies and gentlemen, the fabulous repeat is going to be at 11 p.m. tonight. Till the next time, 1, 2, 3, Pakistan!
Zindabad! Good morning.